Imagine waking up one day to find that history has changed. You reach for your phone to check the news, but the headlines tell a different story than you remember. You try to recall a famous movie quote, but the line you're thinking of isn't in the film. And when you ask friends about their childhood, they share memories that seem alien to you. Are you losing your mind, or is reality itself breaking apart? Welcome back. I'm here. And today we're diving into the unsettling world of the Mandela Effect, a strange phenomenon where large groups of people vividly recall events, logos, or historical facts that are wildly different from how they appear today. It's like a collective, out-of-body experience, an eerie moment when we realize that our shared reality may not be as solid as we think. Now, these alternate memories can be as small as misremembering the spelling of a brand name, or as monumental as recalling an entirely different historical event. In each case, it leaves us scratching our heads, questioning whether we're losing our minds or if something far more sinister is at play. So buckle up as we take a deep dive into some of the strangest cases of the Mandela Effect and explore the unsettling possibilities that they might be evidence of memory manipulation, alternate timelines, or even glitches in reality itself. Nelson Mandela's death. Let's start with the namesake of this phenomenon, Nelson Mandela. If you were alive in the early 2000s, you may remember a news report that shook the world. On December 6, 2013, after a battle with cancer, former South African President Nelson Mandela passed away at his home in Johannesburg. His death was a significant moment in history, and his funeral was watched by millions around the globe. But here's where things get weird. As with any major event, memories of Mandela's death vary from person to person. Some remember the shock of hearing the news on the radio. Others recall watching the somber funeral procession on television. But then there are those who claim to remember Mandela's death years earlier, sometimes in very different circumstances. They recall the news breaking on a Friday, not a Saturday. Others claim he died in prison, not at home. And some even remember a much earlier date, with Mandela passing away in the late 1980s or early 90s. What's really going on here? One explanation is that these alternate memories are simply a result of Mandela's long and complicated life. He spent 27 years in prison for his activism against apartheid and was only released in 1990. During his presidency, he played a key role in negotiating peace deals and promoting reconciliation between black and white South Africans. This turbulent history left a lasting impact on the country and its people, which could explain why memories of such a prominent figure are so vivid and varied. But the Mandela Effect goes beyond just individual memories. Large groups of people around the world all seem to recall Mandela's death in the same incorrect way. This suggests that something more than simple memory lapse is at play. Could these alternate memories be evidence of a Mandela universe where he died earlier, or in a different way? Or is there a more mundane explanation? Well, that remains a mystery. The Berenstain Bears. If you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you probably remember the popular children's book series, The Berenstain Bears, created by Stan and Jan Berenstain. The series followed the adventures of a family of bears in the fictional bear country. The books tackled various childhood issues, like starting school, dealing with bullies, and making new friends. The messages were often simple, but the stories were engaging, and the illustrations were charming. But not everyone remembers the spelling of the bear family's name. For many, it was the Berenstain Bears. That extra E makes sense. After all, the most famous member of the family, Papa Bear, was always popping his dentures back in with a loud click. But for others, the name was always Bear. So why does this seemingly small detail spark such strong convictions in both camps? Some believe that the change in spelling is a sign of a shift in our collective memory, pointing to the Mandela Effect as proof that reality is breaking apart. Others argue that the spelling was always Berenstein, citing old copies of the books as evidence. This debate has raged on for years, with no clear winner. But perhaps the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Maybe the spelling of the name was changed at some point, but the collective memory of readers is so strong that many still recall it as it was in earlier versions. After all, memories aren't set in stone. They can change and evolve over time, influenced by external factors and our own biases. So while the spelling of the Berenstain Bears name may seem like a trivial matter, it highlights the fascinating ways in which our memories can deceive us. The classic Hollywood ending. For the next entry, let's turn our attention to the world of classic Hollywood. Specifically, let's talk about the iconic scene at the end of The Wizard of Oz. In the original 1939 film, after Dorothy and her companions defeat the Wicked Witch of the West, they return to the Emerald City to meet with the wizard. The wizard, who has been revealed to be a humbug, grants Dorothy's wish to return home, and she awakens in her bed in Kansas. But here's where things get interesting. Many people swear that the ending of The Wizard of Oz was different. They recall Dorothy being awarded a special prize for defeating the Wicked Witch, such as a basket of goodies or a golden hen. When they describe the scene, they're often very specific, remembering lines of dialogue and even the type of wrapping on the prize. But these alternate memories are not supported by any evidence. The original script for The Wizard of Oz makes no mention of a prize, and no such scene exists in any print or video format. So where did these alternate memories come from? Perhaps they're simply a product of imagination, a way for our brains to fill in the gaps in our memories. Or maybe they're a form of collective misremembering, driven by our desire for a happy ending. After all, The Wizard of Oz is a beloved classic, and many of us want to believe that Dorothy was rewarded for her bravery and kindness. But regardless of the explanation, these alternate memories serve as a reminder of the fallibility of human memory and the power of nostalgia. The Curious Case of Curious George. Curious George, the mischievous little monkey who delighted generations of children with his antics, is another character whose backstory has been affected by the Mandela Effect. Many people vividly remember the beloved children's book character wearing a yellow hat. They also recall the image of the monkey on the cover of the first book in the series, the man with the yellow hat. But if you open a copy of Curious George today, you will notice that the monkey is wearing a blue hat and the man in the iconic illustration is wearing a red, blue, and green striped hat. This discrepancy has led to confusion and debate among fans of the series, with some insisting that the hats were always yellow and others claiming that they were always a different color. But the truth is that the Mandela Effect is at play once again. According to author H.A. Ray, who wrote the original Curious George books with his wife, Margaret, the monkey always wore a blue hat. The yellow hat is a relatively recent addition to the character's wardrobe, introduced in a new edition of the book published in the 1980s. It's unclear how the Mandela Effect came to be, but it is possible that some readers simply misremembered the character as appearance after reading so many books and seeing so many adaptations. Other theories suggest that the Mandela Effect is evidence of a shift in our collective consciousness, or a glitch in the matrix. Whatever the explanation, the Curious George controversy highlights the strange ways in which our memories can deceive us. Could our memories be slipping? While the Mandela Effect can be a fun and fascinating phenomenon to discuss, it's important to remember that our memories are not always reliable. We tend to remember things based on our emotions, biases, and the information we've been exposed to. And as we recall these memories, they can become distorted or inaccurate. There are also instances where external factors like stress or trauma can cause our memories to slip or fragment. In extreme cases, this can lead to false memories or a complete inability to remember certain events. It's also worth noting that we don't have complete control over what we remember. Our brains decide which memories are important enough to retain and which ones fade with time. Sometimes we may not even remember something because we were unpaying full attention or have the cognitive capacity to store the memory in the first place. Despite the unreliability of human memory, the Mandela Effect can still be a captivating topic. It is a reminder that the world is full of mysteries, and that our understanding of reality is always evolving. By exploring these strange occurrences, we can learn more about ourselves and the universe we inhabit. So while it's important to approach these topics with a healthy dose of skepticism, it's also essential to remain open-minded and curious about the world around us. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the strange and mysterious world of the Mandela Effect. Which case resonated with you the most? Have you experienced a memory lapse or glitch in reality that you can't explain? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, make sure to like and subscribe for more fascinating videos like this one. Remember, the Mandela Effect may have a way of blurring the lines between past and present, but one thing remains clear: our curiosity about the world around us never fades. So until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the truth. Who knows, you might just uncover your own Mandela Effect.